Memoir is a sensitive genre of literature because the nature of this type of storytelling is subjective, often offering a limited perspective on certain situations. Because of this, the author's integrity and honesty is often brought into question. There has to be a degree of truthfulness in the storytelling, but the author must still produce a compelling piece of work in order to find success. The author must also connect to the reader and offer them something to take away from their personal recollections. Each memoir is different and holds specific lessons and takeaways unique to that memoir, but all connect personal experience to a greater message regarding a certain subject. The personal struggle is always connected to something bigger, something that resonates with the reader. Each memoir does this differently, but no matter the subgenre, personal experience and struggle is always connected to a bigger picture. Let's explore a memoir filled with adventure. In H is for Hawk by Helen Macdonald, Macdonald describes her journey training her goshawk Mabel. By the end of her memoir, Macdonald has faced the realization that her grief cannot be overcome or cured by fleeing to nature as she previously believed. I should flee to the wild. It was what people did. The nature books I'd read told me so. So many of them had been quests inspired by grief or sadness. Earth has no sorrows, earth cannot heal. Now I knew this for what it was, a beguiling but dangerous lie. I was not the hawk, no matter how many times I lost myself in the blood and the leaves and fields. This is a broader statement on the societal view of grief because there's lots of pressure to cure your grief rather than process it healthily. She makes this larger statement by detailing her own personal experience with this issue. Next, let's talk about The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson. In this memoir, Nelson connects life and death during the final part of her story, with her labor. And then, suddenly, Iggy. And with the death of Harry's mother. These two experiences are unique to Nelson's life, but she uses them to make a larger statement about the fragility of death. You will have touched death along the way. You will have realized that death will do you too, without fail and without mercy. It isn't the pain that one forgets, it's the touching death part. As the baby might say to its mother, we might say to death, I forget you, but you remember me. In Buck, Asante struggles with identity and faces internal conflict while facing important decisions. The thug life is tempting, but ultimately, Asante discovers his passion for writing and develops a new sense of identity with language. He goes on to reconnect with his cultural history, finds new passion rooted in poetry, and deepens his sense of self. He connects his personal discovery of how language can change everything, and makes it into a broader statement about uneducated black men. Books show the world, not just as it is, but as it could be, should be. Now I see why reading was illegal for black people during slavery. Reading was illegal because if you limit someone's vocab, you limit their thoughts. In Down Below, Leonora Carrington describes her struggles with mental illness and details her personal experiences while in a psychiatric facility. In hindsight, she notices certain truths about the concepts of mental illness. She does this by describing certain situations where she was mentally unwell, while emphasizing what she now feels is important.
The car is jammed! What?
This was the first stage of my identification with the external world. I was the car. The car had jammed on account of me. I was horrified by my own power. At the time, I was still limited to my own solar system and was not aware of other people's systems, the importance of which I realize now. I was not aware of the importance of health, of the absolute necessity of having a healthy body to avoid disaster and the liberation of the mind. What is literature? Wikipedia defines it as writing considered to be an art form, or any single writing deemed to have artistic or intellectual value, often due to deploying language in ways that differ from ordinary usage. So is memoir literary, Or is this genre just destined to be full of authors dumping their issues onto paper? Heidi and Kraus, featured in Just Admit It, You Wrote a Memoir, object to this genre on the basis that memoir is a one-sided perspective and that it is not symbolic enough to qualify as literary. But the truth about memoir doesn't lie in the hands of a handful of dishonest authors. The memoirs in this documentary serve as examples of what this genre can be, what it should be. These memoirs offer two-sided relationships, deep analysis, symbolism, and self-awareness. Each book, however imperfect, exemplifies the collective goal of this genre, to connect honest, candid personal experience to a larger meaning.
Wait, I look like a fucking egg. Can I just...
Iggy, your father is mourning. Please do not jump on him.
My mind is in such turmoil.
My head is in such pain and turmoil.
I'm trying. Ready? Cynthia died for art. Cynthia. I've been through a lot. My dad is really smart, but he's not too good at being a dad. And now I'm...
You did amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, it's crying.
Oh, that's a good sign though. It means it's alive.
So. Why does he keep trying to come back over?
Ready for parkour?
do do do